I think we should be proud of that. We should celebrate Roma cultures. I say cultures because we should celebrate that we have diverse and different Roma cultures.
Many variations and different styles of our culture, and I think that is so important. And when you think about Roma traditions and Roma culture, I think that's really important to say about it, that we have our culture, but they can be different because we are from other countries. We have not only one religion, we have many religions. How the other culture from the country where you live influenced your culture.
Welcome to the podcast Amaro Voice. Amaro is from the Romani language and means our. Our Roma, Sinti, and Trilla voices among Europe. My name is Senil Mimishi. I'm journalist and Roma activist from Germany. Hello, Melissa. If you want, also you can introduce yourself. How are you?
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm 26 years old and I'm the co host. And I'm fine. And you, how are you?
I'm also fine. So yeah, today's episode will be we will talk about culture, Romani culture. Does it mean to have like Romani culture? Is it culture when you are say like you do some traditions and you are traditional or you are conservative? So is it part of the culture? I think you don't need to do traditions or to be conservative to say to have your own Roma culture, and I think it's involving. Thanks for watching us. If you want to support us, you can like this video and give us a comment. And to not miss our episodes, you can subscribe our YouTube channel. If you are watching or listening right now on Spotify or listen on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, you can follow our podcast to get all informations from us. Go and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Amaro Voice. What is culture? So what does it mean for you? Or what does it mean for everybody, for other also?
I think for me it's interesting because I have two cultures. I'm also German and I'm also from the Roma community, so I celebrate two cultures. And I think we have a lot of people outside. There's also like that, so they have different cultures and are, I don't know, mixed or something. So I think culture is, it's your identity. You need your culture to be yourself, and it's good also to celebrate your culture. So don't be shy to show what culture you have and celebrate them. And also, for you, it's also interesting because you live a long time in Germany. You have a German passport, so you have the German citizenship. And for me, it's really interesting because I have two cultures. I was born with two cultures. For you, how the German culture is involving your Roma culture, how they connect with each other.
I was living in Kosovo until I was 7 years old, so until 99. My family was never like conservative, there was always modern. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they, of course, we have our Roma culture, and of course, we was living in Roma neighborhood, but in our Roma neighborhood, there was also living Turkish people and some Albanian people. It's good to have your own culture, but it's important to not separate yourself or your group. It's important to talk with others, to learn more people, to learn about new cultures and how can you evolve your culture with cultures from others who maybe, you know, and I think this is also important not to exclude yourself and but yes, I think it's easy to, and also what I see. So because you asked for how is the difference, of course now in Germany when you came as a migrant, you take something from German culture. Of course, this is it's normal because I lived 26 years now here. When you're Roma and you don't live with your in your Mahala, like in your Roma neighborhood, and with your community, when you live outside your community, Like my example, my community is from Pristina, but nobody lives anymore in Pristina because of the war. So we all live in France, Italy, not north of Italy, Germany, etc., and other countries. So it's not it's difficult, when you live outside, and like in my example there is no other Roma families, and it's difficult to continue this culture like you did it before when I was in Kosovo, because when you live with your community it's easier for you to live your culture. But it's important, um, I think, to not forget your culture. So like I said, it's good to mix with cultures or to learn from other cultures, to take something from other cultures, like from friends who are migrants or German culture. But also, it's important for, I think, for the identity to not forget your culture.
I talked with my grandmother about that, about how was it in the past. I mean, um, she told me before we lived in Roma neighborhood. It was in Skopje everything mixed. So you had people there. There were Turkish or Jewish or Albanian and Roma. So it was so like mixed neighborhood. And I asked her about culture, and I asked about how to celebrate with the neighborhood who is really mixed. And she told me it was like, okay, when you have people there, they are Christians and they celebrate Christmas, so you know that you celebrate with them, so say, ah, have a nice Christmas, or go to eat there or something like that. And it was also like for my family when they did Ramadan or they had Bayram, they the other people visit them to eat with them for iftar or celebrate Bayram together. And also for other communities with other cultures, so it was to share the cultures from the different communities with each other. And that's what I really loved about this time, because I don't know, right now it's not like that. It's like, okay, you have friends and then you share that, but when you're in a neighborhood, it's it was more in the past, I think, more
Mhm.
than now.
Do you know the name of the neighborhood in Skopje? Is it Shutka?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Stuttgart, but before Stuttgart, and they lived
Other.
in different. It was more. No, it was more mixed. It was not when you live more in the center of Skopje. There was more mixing cultures and mixing
Yeah,
communities.
I think this is the special about like some Balkan countries, like North Macedonia with Skopje, but also Kosovo. I don't know how is it now. I can also only say like how it was it before. So like until the 90s, so before in Balkan the war started, the special. I think maybe it's the influence because of the Ottoman Empire, because like North Macedonia, Kosovo, Bosnia, there was for many hundred years under the Ottoman Empire. So I think in Kosovo, for my neighborhood, so my neighborhood in Pristina, Roma neighborhood is called Moraska. So and the Roma neighborhoods in that time in Balkan countries, it wasn't always we say it Roma neighborhoods that other people understand, but these neighborhoods there wasn't like in other countries just for Roma, or like excluding that only Roma lives there. The special was there was living Jewish people, like some Albanians, like in some of cities in like North Macedonia, you have also Albanians in Kosovo also, and or some Turkish people who still lived there because of the Ottoman Empire. And like example, when you said about Ramadan, Bayram, or I can remember when my family or other families, when there was some weddings or sunat, the Turkish friends, Jewish friends, Albanian friends, or who was like neighbors or who lives next to them, there was always invited. They was celebrating together. So that yeah. So maybe also the special about Roma culture. Do you think that how like for Roma weddings for Biaf? example, how Roma celebrate weddings. Could it be some included in Roma culture? What do you think?
For a few months, I had my own wedding, and what I can say is it was a good mixed Roma wedding. It has a lot of traditionals inside, but also modern culture. So what I can say is, we have our traditions for a typical Roma wedding. I mean, it's depends which country and which religion, of course, because we don't have one Roma culture. What you said in the beginning, but especially from my neighborhood or my city, country, whatever you want to say for this religion, you have a lot of traditions there, including other traditions, like when you have henna evening. Yeah, we have henna. It's Turkish, so you have it also in Turkish communities and from Turkey, or also from kind of, we say also, okay, other people will do the like a Turkish version, or maybe like Bollywood Indian style. And then on the other hand, you have modern culture, traditions from other countries. I mean, also like you have a bouquet from flowers to give them to young women, or a special wedding cake. I think that's including right now new modern cultures from other countries inside the Roma culture, especially when on,
Yeah.
I don't know, when you have Roma weddings. So that was really interesting for me, how to connect two different cultures, or more than two different cultures, and how they include right now in in a Roma wedding. And this is what I really like about culture. They are mixed. You can put it inside. You have new modern uh, culture things to celebrate, and um, that's what's important about culture.
And I think it's also interesting, like example for Roma weddings, like I I would say now like example like Muslim Roma from Balkan. So the dances what they do in the weddings is when you compare it, it has similarities with Albanians, Turkish people, Kurdish people, and others. Maybe the music can be also sometimes similar, but in the music you can find differences because I know from Turkish and Kurdish friends when we talked about weddings, and for them it's not so important to have like live music, you know. Um, they sometimes have also DJ, you know, but like for like Roma, Muslim Roma, from Balkans, especially from Kosovo, it's always important to have like live band, live music. But it's also interesting that sometimes, example, because like we said at the beginning, there's no one Roma culture, and sometimes Roma culture can be also influenced by the area where you live with other people together. You share something, and it's interesting. Like when you compare, example, Roma from Balkans, like Muslim Roma from Kosovo, or maybe Muslim Roma from North Macedonia. When you compare them to Orthodox Roma from north of Serbia, it's different. Uh,
Yeah.
like in just dances or weddings. Then when you compare them to Roma from Scandinavia, like like north of Europe, or like Roma from Spain, they have like more this flamenco type stuff. So it's like it's interesting that at the end, like it's very different, and so many variations.
Many variations and different styles of our culture, and I think that is so important. And when you think about Roma traditions and Roma culture, I think that's really important to say about it, that we have our culture, but they can be different because
Yeah.
we are from other countries. We have not only one religion, we have many religions. And also how the other culture from the country where you live influence your culture.
I think we should be proud of that. We should celebrate Roma cultures. I say cultures because we should celebrate that we have diverse and different Roma cultures. We should celebrate that we have like a this Balkan style music and dances and weddings from like Muslim Roma or from Orthodox Roma. Like even in Balkan, we have many differences that we have like in Spanish, like for Latin Roma, the flamenco and like Eastern Europe Roma or Roma from north of Europe or like Scandinavia and like Roma from like Slovakia or Czech Republic, they have also even different style of dances, you know, or like Roma from Ukraine. So we should be proud of that, that we have like a variety of Roma culture.
That's so true, and I really love that we have this respectful to each other and also to our traditions. Also, when they are different, but we know that's our Roma cultures.
I think we should have more of that, like maybe idea for NGOs to have like an event like Dikina Vista, but just as festival version. Imagine we have like a festival event from NGOs like Dikina Vista with 20 to 25 countries, every country, and then
Yeah.
on this festival everybody shows their traditions, their culture, and um, how they do it. You know, that would be interesting, I
Now we
think.
have an idea, guys. We have an idea. We celebrate the Eurovision uh, festival with all Roma people included with their traditions, and every country show their tradition and their music. I think that will be good.
Yeah.
So when you want to do that, please
And
share with us.
yeah. And don't forget to give the idea 10%. I'm joking.
That's not a joke. Come on. No, we're
Yeah,
in it. So
yeah, okay.
call
So
us.
we are starting with our rubric called Breaking Stereotypes about Roma. So I used AI. I asked ChatGPT to give me 10 examples of stereotypes about Roma and Sinti. So the next stereotype about Roma is they don't respect rules and authorities.
What do you think about it?
I
About
mean,
this stereotype?
I cannot speak for everybody, but I never had problem with authorities. I never had problem with the government. I never did something wrong. Never had problem with laws and um that's not true, I think. So yeah. So I mean, even if you don't respect rules, it don't have to be with your Roma identity. And I think sometimes it's important also. I think to not respect rules is nothing bad. You know, imagine during the NS regime when the Holocaust was against Jewish, Roma, and Sinti and other people. So during this time, it was important to not respect your rule. You know, so I think it depends how you see it, um, but it's still I don't like the stereotype because it create it's like an other definition to say like Roma are criminals because if you don't respect the rule, you do maybe something against the rules, and then this shows means like you are a criminal, you know.
So when we see in the past how the civil rights movements work and what they did, I mean it was for the law also not really um, the typical right way to do that, and it was also against law. But we need to do that, and also to have our rights right now. I mean, it was a long fight to stand there what we are right now, to be a national minority here in Germany. And I think for this, it depends what you did, for what you did that.
Thank you. So this was breaking stereotypes about Roma. We are coming now almost to the end. So now we will talk about anecdotes. If it's okay, I will just start and then maybe you will find something. So just my anecdote is something like advice, not really a story, or maybe also story. So always when I meet with friends who are non-Roma and who I know like for many years. Like most of my friends I know since the fifth grade, you know, and then it's also interesting like different friends, Turkish, Kurdish, Italians, and other nationalities. Then when we talk, we always talk about our cultures. They tell me what they are doing, um, like for weddings, music, and other stuff. I tell them how we celebrate, and I think, and this is also interesting because I learn something new from other cultures, what I never knew before, and also they learn new from other cultures because um, many people who are non-Roma they know nothing about Roma cultures. They know only the stereotypes and the negative things. So I think it's important to talk about your culture with other friends who are non-Roma, um, to because just with this also you can break the stereotypes, you know. Then they can realize that Roma are not like maybe they imagined before, and with that I think uh, when you share with them, they will also later when they will talk with their family or with other people who have the same nationality like them, they will explain them how Roma are. So with this you you create like good effect, you know,
Mm.
something like breaking stereotypes, I think. Because, like, example, I tell my friends something about Roma, and he and his family, or it's like they and their families, they before they knew nothing of Roma, and because I explained some stuff or told them some how we celebrate culture, so they know now more because they never had the possibility to ask somebody to know this. You know, they only was thinking
Mm.
the negative stuff. So it was changing something, and this is like my advice for people: if you have just because I know some Romani people, because of course I can understand because anti-Gypsyism and because the historical things, they don't trust other like non-Romani people, and they have like in their French friend like their friends maybe just Roma people, or they see them meet like their family and the friends are like just Roma, and so I think it's important to have also non-Roma friends and to share cultures with others, to learn, to involve your like your horizon, uh, to
Mm.
involve yourself, to know more about other cultures as a human, but also with this you do a good education in your circle with friends and people, you know, who are maybe know for a long time from school, something like this, and I think that's good. So yeah.
Hmm. Interesting, yeah. For me, I think it's a funny story. I told you that I had my wedding for a few months ago, and I had some German friends, and they know about, okay, I'm from the Roma community, and but they for them it was okay, Roma wedding. I mean, they didn't know how to celebrate that or what's going on a Roma wedding. And I was dancing with my family and do all the traditions, and after that I had a break, and then I go to my friends, and I I, I went to my friends, and then I said, guys, how are you? What do you think about the Roma wedding? And they said, oh, the first time, my first impression was, oh, I have a culture shock. But now it's so interesting. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot because that's different to a German wedding. I don't want to judge the German wedding, but for me, it was also many years ago. The first German wedding was from my auntie, and before that I knew only the Roma weddings, and it was completely different. you sit there with your cake and with your coffee and you talk. And I mean, when you see a Roma wedding, when you talk, you dance, you have this and this, and it's loud, you have music, you have a lot of food, and
Camera team who's recording.
oh, camera
Yeah.
team, and then you need to look good, and then you can't talk like that or say something. Or I mean, my mom was on my wedding and she is German and she wants to talk with other people, but she's like, huh, I can't hear you, the music is so loud. And I for me it was so good to connect these two cultures, and everyone has fun. And also, when some people get a culture shock, they change their mind, and that's the thing what I really like by having different cultures.
My childhood was in Pristina when we was in weddings. I was like 4 or 5 years old. There was, of course, the music was very loud, and I was like always when you was sleeping under like loud music. I think this is something what um, maybe many Roma can understand, and also other cultures who do similar weddings. So it's like a meme also. So
Yeah,
in our
typical
generation,
meme from
yeah,
Balkan
yeah,
people, from
yeah,
Balkan childs who sleep
yeah. So
at
our
the
childhood,
wedding and
yeah,
didn't
and
hear the I
music,
don't know,
yeah.
the music.
Okay. So, do you have any closing words?
Respect every culture, guys, and celebrate every culture. Don't be shy. And I hope in the future that our culture will stay there and is a good mix for everyone. And you have new traditions, but you have also the old traditions, and to celebrate with each other.
Hmm. Yeah, and also for me, one advice, like if you are Roma in like if your community, like for my example, is in another country, like in the Balkans or maybe also just another country, but like you live in Western Europe and you are like far away from your community and also in your city is no other Roma. So for me, my advice to the people, um, try to because our culture is very nice. I like our culture. Doesn't matter. I like all our cultures. The differences, like I explained before, our rubric, and also my advice for you: if you would like, if you want to celebrate your culture, but you cannot do it because there's nobody from the community there, no connection, then just go. Look for Tenipe, look for Dikinabista, just go to Dikinabista, participate in Dikinabista from Tenipe, participate in events from Ergo Network, like during the Roma Week, or participate in events from Pina Mensa. If you are from Germany, participate in events from Amaro Voice and other many NGOs in Germany. We have a lot. Or if you're also from another country, participate in the national events from their country. So you will find in every country an NGO. But if you're interested to do something internationally, the best advice for you is just try to participate in Dikinabista.
And guys, we are really interested in which culture you have and what you celebrate. So please write in the comments and tell us what's the difference in your country and your culture, and write it below in the comments and we will read it. And I hope we will find a lot of people who have the same culture, or maybe they are related. So it's really interesting to see what culture you have.
Thanks for watching or listening. Ciao and der Besser.
Bye.
This podcast is funded by the Stiftung Erinnerung, Verantwortung und Zukunft (EVZ) as part of the project Amaro Voice, digitale Bildungsarbeit über die Communities der europäischen Sinti und Roma bei der NGO Medien und Kulturzentrum Deutscher Roma e.V.